go live. So we're gonna click on go live. I need to click twice actually. So go live now. I'm ahead of the schedule with 10 seconds probably, but it's really cool. Okay, so it looks like we are live, which is super awesome, cool. Let's give some time for people to join us. Oh, okay, I see people are joining us. I see Michael. So for people which are in the audience, just give me a sign so I can test the system to make sure this is working well. Just click on one of the reaction, give us an emoji. So, all right, awesome. So it looks like you can hear us. For people which would like to come with us on stage, on the bottom right there is a hand. Click on that, same as I did with Michael, and that is gonna allow us to come with us here on stage. So my name is Sandu Bachu. This is the event number 22 for the LinkedIn event. Call it From iSketch to AI Catch and 3D Revolution. And I'm really happy we reached to such a large number 22. Awesome. Some technical things along with this event. Also tomorrow at the same time at noon Eastern time, there is another event. The event for content creators is the event number 35. I strongly recommend to come to that event as well. We're going to share a lot of good information, same as on this one. Feel free to join us, and I posted the link to that event in the comments. In general, in the comments, I'm posting good information, so you can come back and look, remember, find the news. And actually, that gives me the chance to make a quick introduction for this event. My name is Sandu Bachu. I really like AI by professional trade. I'm actually a civil engineer, but I'm using AI a lot lately. I do have also background in architectural and industrial design. And with me, I have also two invites. I have Ernesto and Samir. Ernesto, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? And after that, Samir.
Hi, Sandu. Hi. Wonderful to join you once again in these conversations. I'm an active project manager at an architectural firm in South Florida, and I try to incorporate AI into ideation, mostly in our workflow, as much as possible.
Awesome, cool.
And obviously, I explore with it on the side.
Yes. And Samir? Make sure you are not.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I hope I'm clear.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay. So I am an architect based at India. So I started using AI as a way to, educate my potential clients, because frankly, we are in a place where people wouldn't know the difference between, architect and a civil engineer or a contractor. So I thought, why not we use this to showcase the kind of project that we could do. And that's where I started using, I started with Bing Image Creator, and now I use Midjourney. And I see AI as a tool for now. I think, I learn a lot from Ernesto in the sense that he's doing a lot with ST and all of that other AI tools.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Cool. So let's dive into the event then. For people which did not join on this event before, this event it's actually in three parts. The first part will be about the innovation. The second part will be about the news. And the third one, my preferred one, would be about the 3D revolution. So basically, we're going to talk how AI could be implemented with 3D. There are a lot of softwares over there as well. But I think it will be good at least to start with the third part, the part of innovation. So on this side, I was thinking what would be the best way to explain and show people how I'm using in an innovative way AI. And I'm predominantly using Midjourney, but in the same time, I'm actually open for all other platforms as well. I start testing other platforms, which I'm finding actually they have really good quality, and they, even if the industry right now it's driven by Midjourney as a lead in AI generation, the other ones, they are not too far behind. Actually, some of them, depends what you want to do, they might provide you a better result than Midjourney. So innovative ways in general, it doesn't mean to use only one product. So in this opening which I'm doing right now, I'm actually trying to say innovative way is actually to use multiple platforms, use as many as you want. Of course, you can focus on one or two, but the important part is to focus on get the results which you are looking for. So, I'm almost sure Midjourney could be a good product, but again, Mike also is here with us. You can use other product like Clipchamp. They give you more information, and actually is not having only Midjourney. They have other softwares included in the product. I will let Mike to present it later on, but that will be a way of doing an innovative way with AI, basically playing with multiple platforms and trying to see the links between them, because at the end you can have good results. As example, for instance, in automotive industries, I'm usually doing a doodle on a sketch. Could be like a post note, or in the last one which I made, it was a recipe. So I just make a sketch of a car on the back, and I thought maybe I should render this in Midjourney. So I uploaded that picture in Midjourney. I used the references, the web references, and from there I put the prompt and I upscale it. And I reached it to a point where I find some interesting shapes, and I said, okay, maybe I should use this on another software like Viscam or Premiere. And you can refine it in the sense that the other platforms, they are not so random like Midjourney, but it maintains the lines, the shapes which you kind of want to maintain. So that will be an innovative way to use AI. Now, I will ask also my invites, including also Mike as well, what are the other ways of using AI in innovative ways you have? And let's start with Ernesto, and after that Samir, and after that Mike.
Well, Sandu, mostly lately I've been experimenting with a tool called Veras by Evolve Lab, and they've been evolving that it's basically stable diffusion filtered down with architectural models to generate, and it's been a great resource for rendering purposes, because it's a plugin that you can put in directly into SketchUp or Revit.
Yes.
And using actual geometry, you generate images through prompting.
Correct.
My deep search into it has been a lot about seed control, because once you control the seed, you actually can control the output greatly. And where I've been exploring it a lot is trying to create animations with multiple scenes from the same 3D model rendered through Veras as my render engine. So that's been a really awesome trick to get super rapid visualization of anything, any ideation that you're doing already in 3D. So I highly recommend exploring Veras. Now, and you know me at Xcool, and also known as LookX, is possibly the strongest tool that we have right now, especially because of the ability to incorporate your own LoRa models, your own trained aesthetics.
Yes, and back to Veras. I remember on SketchUp, for instance, I'm using SketchUp right from the beginning. Actually, I was one of the first at Google. But anyway, the downside of SketchUp is very good on doing the 3D, but man, the texture, they're awful, as always we said, right? So each time, for a while we actually use other softwares, to do the renderings and have good results. But yes, with Veras, not only that you have that 3D model and kind of is putting the right textures, but you have the variations, which I like on that as well. So, you can do a modern look, the glass is looking exceptionally, the texture are really bright. So I really like that. I'm glad actually you mentioned Veras too. So otherwise it was V-Ray, like old school since 3D Studio Max back in 90s. You do the 3D, you do the texturing, you do the lighting, and after that you're rendering. Like, it's lots of work it was required. But right now with Veras, you have the same similar outcome render results without passing through all those hours of modifying the model 3D. So really cool stuff. Yes.
One of the really wonderful things that just happened with Veras is like everything that's exponentially growing so fast is that they've incorporated in painting into it. So now you can, just like we're doing in, I'm sure, Midjourney, and most people know about it, and through DALL-E, the whole, and even now in Photoshop that has Firefly, right? The ability to just select a small region and impact that small region for architectural purposes is a great help. You can change furniture, you can change finishes in just one specific region of a rendered image.
Correct, and you can balance it, and basically, you can even have a live session with your clients. I always said that is what I'm saying.
It's
architecture, right? It's like, 1 hour is the client, and bang, you solve like 80-90% of whatever visual satisfaction the client needs. So, and after that, you just go and do the legwork, build the model and all that good stuff. So yeah, I fully agree. I think that's the biggest power of AI. At the incipient phase, brainstorm phase, and selling the product phase, conceptually, I think that is going to take over almost like 80-90% in the next year or so. So I agree 100%. Yes. Samir, on your side, what other innovative ways you have for using AI?
So what I do is, I usually make a very basic 3D model with SketchUp or even Blender, set my kind of lighting that I want. Then I take a draft render and bring it into Midjourney as an image reference, and then I start adding prompts to it. So I actually don't want to be having a controlled an image. So I let the prompt speak, and then I'm okay with what it comes to be, and that's how I look at AI. And I keep AI for pre-design stages only for now. I don't bring it into the design. So I take the decision on my side, and then I work on expanding the 3D model in the later stages. That's how I use AI. And for now, I only use Midjourney at the moment. I use Lookpex. I really liked it. But then I have this issue of I don't want it to be controlled as my point at the moment. Probably I'll change. So that's why I'm sticking to Midjourney right now.
Yeah, no, there are different flavors too. Some people, they want more control. Some people, they want more inspiration, in the sense that, show me what you got, and play with it, and it's a balance, no doubt about it. And the other thing is with the shapes, as long as you do some rough guidelines, like any artist, when somebody's doing a painting, initially they do the sketch, the guidelines. Okay, that's what I want, and after that they start detailing. Kind of is the same logic. You do the basic what you want. You kind of lock it in those major lines, and after that, just go for it and explore it. Find as much as you can. No, it's really cool. Mike, also, you join us. Thank you very much. We like to have your feedback as well, and please present also PicGen. Yeah. Maybe there are people which doesn't know which PicGen is. So we should prepare it. So yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Sandhu. Yes, PicGen, quick summary. We give you one-stop shopping. You come in, you sign up, and you have access through subscription into Midjourney, Stable Diffusion XL, and OpenAI. And then we assist you in prompt generation, and we save all your results in a gallery, and we save all your searches in our history, so you can then rerun your search again and get new images or variations. And we have all the tools. We have text to image, image to image, variations, in painting, out painting, upscaling, and so on. So the one of the big things that we're finding some of our users enjoy is that they can take an image from one service and use another service. So, for instance, generate something on Midjourney. Up until a couple of days ago, Midjourney didn't have a in painting control. Now they seem to have one. I'm not sure how good it is yet, but you could then go into our Stable Diffusion and use Stable Diffusion's in painting to in paint into a Midjourney image, and it works quite well because it picks up the context of the image itself when it does the in painting. So that's a lot of what we're seeing. We're also very excited to see that OpenAI is coming out with DALL-E 3 shortly, and the whole idea of this interactive chat to create an image we find very interesting. We've done something where you can give it a basic prompt and it will enhance the prompt to add more description. And I think we're going to do something where we add a conversational prompt generation, something like OpenAI is going to be doing with embedded in ChatGPT. So this is all coming soon. And today, my reading of the news, AI news, was that Meta is doing another conversational AI with what do they call that? Where you have different celebrities as part of your.
They bring 28 celebrities. Yes.
So that's a little. That audience is a little young for us, but it's an interesting audience, as well. And I'm sure that it's going to evolve into other areas where you can work with it. They're doing it on WhatsApp and Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
So something like that seems to be the new idea, and people are, at least those two companies are embracing this kind of conversational mode of generating images. So there's a lot there. It's very basic. I think it's probably, when I get my hands on it in a couple of weeks, we'll figure out certain things that we can do to make it even better. I have a whole bunch of ideas that I've been talking to people about.
Yeah,
so
we
have
had
feedback, please let me know.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, no doubt about it. We do have actually more other news regarding MetaConnect and, the Quest 3, the AR with the glasses. I will talk about that. I have it on the list here. But back to what you said, I do see the trend, kind of multiple platforms getting into the AI interaction. As you said, the integration of ChatGPT helping with the prompt. I think that's actually major in the sense that a lot of people have the frustration of writing the prompts and, having something in mind. And it was a kind of a struggle to do the prompt. But it was also the word prompt engineering. The whole thing is how to write the prompt, the weights of the words, and the natural language. You can write prompts with the natural language, or you can write prompts as an engineer, as I'm doing, or you can even record it. You can do voice, and I posted also how you can do that. You can actually in Midjourney you just click Control H, for instance, on Windows, and have the /imagine active, and after that is going to open the voice command, and you just talk, and automatically the software is writing the prompt for you. But I found that extremely interesting because it's multi-platform integration, and I really appreciate that. And also another thing which probably you should mention, on Clipchamp also you suggest prompts too, like you can have in different styles and so on, which I think that's that's also beyond
Right.
what Midjourney have. So, that is
Right. So that's another. Thank you for reminding me about that. That's another big thing that we've put a lot of time and energy into, and I think we need to go further. Is this idea of separating the content of your prompt from the style that you want the image to be rendered in, and that style includes artist movements, moods, colors, and camera angles. So in order to make it very effective, it's important to separate those two ideas so that you can experiment more. And once you establish a basic prompt, and then you want to style your image, modify it, make it look a certain way, you don't have to worry about all the syntax between the prompt itself and the style aspects of the prompt. And that gets more and more interesting as we get into predefined prompts, or sort of macro styles, or you can say sci-fi or something like that, and you get a whole bunch of different styles that are going to help you create sci-fi looking images, for example.
Yeah, no, that's
Michael.
Go ahead.
Michael, does Clipchamp, have you guys explored the possibility of custom model training and incorporating
Yes.
custom models?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we're very interested in that idea of hooking it up to custom models, LoRa's, what have you. I think we could do that quite easily. I'd like to explore that. If you have any business information about that, or insights into how that might be done, because we have like, in terms of a business relationship, because we do have like an open type of plug-in architecture where you basically have the front end generating certain things, and then it can be adapted to Model A, Model B, etc.
Okay. All right, reach out to me and we'll talk about it.
No, definitely.
Absolutely.
It's a great community. I strongly recommend people talk each other, because this is how the innovative ideas are coming, but actually how humanity evolves, obviously. So it's really cool stuff. Again, a reminder for...
I love it, Andre. You're blessed. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Again, for people on the audience, just feel free to click on that hand and come with us on stage. We like to have your feedback. We kind of reached to the point where we can switch toward the news. We sort of started anyway. The intention for this meeting was to focus kind of on the architecture. There are really cool challenges. Again, I really want to mention it. Really cool. Architect Dr. June had really cool ones as well. I posted few, but it's a great opportunity to get people together and see how the creative mind is coming together, and you can see all those cool options, different background from different people. They think differently, but at the end, when you have like a team, you can see different variation of that particular team, and the results are super awesome. But in the same time, I really want to touch on the news. The biggest one for last week obviously was the Meta Connect. The part which, we touch on this, like you can see a ton of posting about that. But what I really like to touch on it, what I really find it interesting, kind of it's a response to what Apple have with the glasses, but the mixed reality, that is going to be the next thing. I could see, even for Meta, they create the VR glasses, but actually they are more like AR. You see also the surrounding, and I think that's probably, they realize that's the future. You cannot isolate it for a while. They were only VR, metaverse, and they realized, no, that's not going to be actually the winning ticket. The winning ticket is still people are in the reality, and you still need to stay in their reality. And the biggest thing, which I think they came, and it's quite innovative in a certain way, with the Ray-Ban glasses, which they have AR integrated on it with their own software. So, I can debate on that, and I'm not really a big fan of having something embedded in a certain platform. Per se, in my opinion, should be open. But anyway, that's my own opinion. But the fact that you're gonna have relatively low-cost devices which they can present AR, I think that's a winner, at least on my opinion. So that's the really cool stuff. With us here also is we have Frankie. Frankie, thank you very much. Welcome to the stage. So we'd like to have your feedback as well.
Thank you so much for this awesome get together, and it's amazing to hear from so many experts who have done this for, way before this. There was a big hype around generative AI. So great to meet so many OGs. So I've got a community, and it's called Fashion AI. We've been using Midjourney to come up with beautiful fashion images. But then the challenge is, how do you turn that into real physical fashion or digital fashion? And that's 3D essentially. So I was wondering if anyone has any perspective on that. One of the big challenges is there is an application for creating digital fashion called Clothes 3D, where you create tech packs which you then send to manufacturers, but it's made for the physical world, and it's very, very high poly. So then you have to, convert everything and to bring it into, Unity and Unreal Engine, and there are all sorts of challenges bringing it into one platform and then the next and the next. So yes, if you have any advice on that, and
yes,
I'd love to see an AI generator go prompt to 3D. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, you touch my sensitive chord here. It's my favorite subject. But yeah, I'll let people on the stage to respond. Ernesto, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're asking for what I think, like Sandu, that's the nerve, right? We all want to be able to figure out how we get that 2D perfect image to 3D, and I'd imagine in the fashion sense, one of the biggest hurdles is pattern making, right? Because that's the in between of the fabric actually draping and then being able to be cut to fit. So, you're really kind of digging deep into dissecting the model. Like, anytime I've tried to turn 2D into 3D, the biggest challenge is always the missing face of a thing, right? If you simplify it to a cube has 6 faces. If you only show the image of the front, AI is really good at guessing the top, the bottom, and the 2 sides. But it's the back, that seam that ties it together, that it all goes nuts. So it'd be really interesting to see who can figure out how to dissect an image into a pattern, which is actually should be easy when you think about it in Blender terms, because you're just turning a 3D object into a flat UV shape.
Yeah, so my question would be, what if you started, instead of going from 2D to 3D, could you start with 3D, so you've got the template of a t-shirt, and then instead of doing photogrammetry in the real world, you do it in the digital world in Blender, and you create loads of images from different angles, and then you fine-tune a model to understand, okay, this is, how the 3D model works with the 2D images and vice versa, and it's just fine-tuned on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it will be a mix.
Well, if you're starting with... Go ahead.
Yeah, so will be a mix. In my opinion, the answer is between. So, first of all, prior to talk between 2D and 3D, it's also 2.5. So, I do have solutions if you want to take it from 2D toward 2.5, and after that 3D. Then there is Zoe Depth, which you can take the depth map. But in the same time, it's also the other software, call it Common Sense Machine, CSM, which actually, surprisingly, they can make a forecast for unseeing faces. As Ernesto said, when you look to a picture, you have only that point of view. So in space, you do not see what is on the back of that object. So if you have a car or whatever, let's say a dress, it can make the dress, but on the back, CSM can also assume how the back is. So they are very good actually for organics. When I'm doing more like automotive or hard surfaces, is not so good because the lines are not straight. But for something organic, it goes very well. So that will be a solution. But the reason why I want to say something, the biggest challenge, especially for fashion or something which is related to materials, the 3D is not able to be captured when you have materials like glass, transparency, because the software cannot imagine that object. It's very good for opaque kind of material. So, if it's a cube and it's opaque, no problem. It's going to give you kind of a cube, a little bit rough edges, but you get it. But when you're going to have textures, and especially when it's something with transparency, the depth math cannot do that because it doesn't realize where is the point where to stop to say that is the glass point end, and behind it something else. So I just want to throw that. I do think there are solutions. I can probably talk about toward the end when we talk about the 3D. There are softwares, Zoe Depth, if you want to do like a quick mesh, CSM as well, but also we do have the LiDAR scanning technology, which can go as kind of you said, from the real, you do a 3D and after that you kind of try to transform it in a 2D. We can touch on that later. I will let people to have their comments as well. So Ernesto, and also people on the from audience, come to stage. It's a really cool, interesting discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandhu, I think I have a solution for this question from Frankie.
Sure.
Yeah, so I saw recently there is a good human being who made a 3D of a t-shirt that, that walks like a Hollow Man thing. So all it requires is a tileable image from us that we need to import it into Blender, and then it does everything for us. The camera and everything is set. All we have to do is, use a tileable texture, or probably use a texture that has a PNG element that sits on the center of the t-shirt. And this is for the t-shirt only, and not for any other dress.
Yeah, well, in 3D there are many other challenges because one is the shape without texture. So let's put the texture beside. Okay, what do you want? What's the texture? It's a t-shirt, it's a dress, it's something super cool. Those things which fashion comes, or could be 3D printed and so on. So that's the first thing, is like how that volume is, if it's a volume or if it's just a mesh, like a drape. So that's the first thing. And after that comes the texture part. Somebody's got a phone. Cool. The second will be with the texture, which I think the texture can be solved because at the end, if you got the mesh or, the solid model, you can apply whatever texture you want. Could be also transparent, but the biggest challenge, which I'm saying, is to get that mesh / 3D object. And again, I can talk about Polycam, the polylayer, the LiDAR technology. We do have ways to do it. We can scan it and we can modify it and transform it. And from what I know, they are actually, I will search Frankie, and I will post in LinkedIn. There are many other softwares which the designers are used, which are 3D embedded, which they have more like templates, certain templates, and you can add the textures, but also you can modify, and from there you can extract directly the pattern, so you can make that dress. I'm not sure exactly how they call it, but the pieces which you need to have it to with a certain dimensions, and that can be exported as well. It's not only the fact that you have it as a 3D, you have also the templates to build physically that particular dress, which I think is really, really cool technology, actually. Is that answer to your question, Frankie?
Yes, absolutely. I'm probably going to have to jump off, but I'm going to share just a presentation in the group so you can see the learnings that I've done so far. And I would love to have a call with anyone who.
Yes, awesome. And I'll do my research as well, and I'll post it because I realized I didn't post a fashion post from long time ago, so I definitely need to follow up on that as well. Thanks, appreciate.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye.
With us we have
A quick
one.
observation.
Go ahead.
My feeling is that my experience is that Midjourney works quite well with patterns. If you're trying to do a textile pattern like any type you can put on, it does a very nice rendering of the pattern on the textile. So if you say a woman in a crazy blouse, a different kind of blouse, it'll give you very nice stuff. So if you can then take the textile that it's kind of generated and then use that in your design as a printed textile, you're going to have a pretty good success with that without all the 3D issues.
Yeah, actually, you remind me on something, Mike. Thanks you said that, because right after this event, there is another one done by Diana Zeibel and also Sachin. They are with AI Lemon Academy. They do have a free webinar right after this one at 2 o'clock. When I'm finished mine, you can jump on theirs as well. And they prepare some posts. They show you actually how you can take a pattern and you kind of transported that to in Midjourney, and you can have it, a person working with that T-shirt with that pattern, which is actually an interesting way of doing work with AI. So, Juana, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate. We like to have your feedback as well. Make sure you unmute.
Hello, everyone. This
Hi.
is always a fascinating discussion. And I wanted to share about the fashion. So I'm not into it, but I use the AI platform Zepeto. And let me just say a word here about what is happening in Japan and Korea, because this is a Korean app that has $1 billion evaluation right now, and I feel like the Western world is not aware. It allows everything. Create your own world. I use it to create some tutorials, but it has amazing fashion capacity. They have the Zepeto Studio with pre-made templates, and then they have tools to customize, and you can preview 3D. And they just partnered with Recon Labs to develop these 3D generating things to give their fashion creators more capabilities. So there's a lot happening in that Zepeto world, and so much so that a lot of the big manufacturers are now going onto Zepeto and creating accounts there. And I'm talking, I can't even think of them, but car companies and all the others, because they realize that's where the young people are, and they can, the Zepeto creators are doing some really amazing things as far as fashion and all of that is concerned. So that might be something for Frankie and others to check out.
Fiona, can you please add the link to it on the...
Sure, I will.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
You just read my
There's
mind.
also
Thanks.
Gucci in there as well.
Yes,
Gucci
welcome.
and all the brands are in there. I'm in there, actually. She's right. You can also export out your Zepeto avatar as an actual VRM and put it in a metaverse.
Thanks,
That
Joy.
was a lot.
Thanks for joining us. Really cool information, and let's make sure we put the post here. I remember it was, I have a cousin which is actually in the fashion design, and she told me about the 3D softwares which they can give us directly the template, so you can build that particular, whatever you want clothing to do, a rope or whatever, which is really important actually. That's the reason I want to mention is, yes, you're gonna have the design, but to be practical also you need to capture that design and make it in real world. And the biggest challenge, obviously, and artistry, like being expert on something, is to transfer that image in the real world, because it's not easy, you have to have some skills to do that. So no, they're definitely cool. All right. Another small thing which I want to add on the news, at least, like there are a ton of other ones, but I really like about the Meta going with AR. I kind of expected that, but it's not the only one. We know Microsoft has got the Copilot also. They have the OpenAI, ChatGPT, and all that. Amazon on their side also they bought Anthropic, which has got the kind of direct competitor of ChatGPT, the Cloud 2, which is interesting. It look like the big names always they have big expenditures, and they bought big AI developers. But there are also AI alternatives, which I posted in the comments. You should check that. Like it doesn't need to be always something which everybody talk about. Could be something smaller, which later is gonna become bigger. So check the alternative for different softwares, because I think that will be interesting at least to see. So kind of I want to share that, but if you guys want, we can switch it slightly toward the 3D, because this AR I really like the fact that we touch on it. For architecture, there are other softwares like Polylayer. Polylayer also can do kind of an interpretation. If you take an image from Mid-Journey and you like I'm doing my sci-fi stuff and I really want to do it in 3D, I know I can do it in SketchUp, I can do it in other software, in CAD directly, in AutoCAD if I need to. But also it's plasticity. I'm not sure if you guys use plasticity. This is a really cool CAD software, very small and very easy. But also it's got direct link, it's got a bridge with Blender, which that is really interesting. So I like to mention it at least. So for people which likes to build in 3D, plasticity also is a good one. And we kind of talk about the architectural LookX. Ernesto or Samir, do you guys want to give more information about LookX, the capabilities at least?
Well, I mean, LookX, it's pretty funny because what we see out here in the West, or basically outside of China, of LookX is the most diluted version of what's actually happened with their platform, which is Xcool over there in China. We're basically seeing like 6 months behind of what they've already developed on their end over there. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to be connected with some of the people over there. And they're really close to actual 2D to 3D. In fact, the next promise from them is prompt to CAD. Literally straight DWGs that match your images. So, and the thing that's hurting in the West is that there's not enough users. So, like, the one thing that we should all have seen from the development in Midjourney is that the amount of users has equated to the fast growth of the platform, and therefore the many versions that it came out. If you guys were aware, 18 months ago, it feels like ages, but when Midjourney was just about to launch, and it was only available to a few people, usually it was a lot of people in the visual, the video gaming world, we were first exploring for creature creations, and it just started to leak out. And as soon as it was able to be out of its beta and they just released it to the for everyone, it expanded exponentially. And that's what LookX is missing right now, especially out here in the West, because the promises that they have for the full breadth of the platform, right now when you look at LookX, you're basically only seeing the image generation. It's literally looks just like Stable Diffusion, with just as much about a control. You can add LoRa models, but it's not about that. The fact what's happening in the background is all that is actually informing a platform on architectural things that we care about, like a volume, area, heights. So that's where I think that platform needs to be explored more.
Yeah, no, I agree. Or on the other side, we might not know yet, but it might have a competitor here, which is gonna pop up shortly. So, or one of the big ones will kind of.
Well,
It's like Midjourney said about the 3D. Maybe they do something similar. I don't know. We'll find out.
no, there's no denying that NVIDIA is working in the background on
Right.
much more sophisticated. I mean, if you're part of their Omni world and the tools that they have for API development, it's, just dig deep into that. They're really and willing. And the good thing about NVIDIA is that their business model is basically just reinvesting on this
Correct.
research.
Yeah.
It's not about making graphic cards for video gamers. That's
Yeah. No.
a side business for them.
Right, which is surprising. Their core business in 2 years, or let's say 5, but that is less than that. They completely switch, and suddenly they become the pylon, the foundation, the infrastructure for everything, which is metaverse. So, and as you said, it's surprisingly how those things evolve. It's lightning speed. It's incredible, because I was saying, at least from the last 22 editions, I say, hey, 3D revolution is coming, it's coming. I'm kind of feeling like, okay, 3D revolution, it's already happening, guys. like it's already here. We'll see AI in 3D, but we don't explore it as it should. Maybe because
We're all aware how our phones lately show us, remember this image from such and such time ago? It's hilarious to see that I now get reminded of my disco diffusion generations from really just 24 months ago, and they looked like crap.
Yes.
Architecture, nothing looked like anything. Everything was just, abstract, and you thought that was a big development forward. And look at us now. Like, we can create hands with 5 fingers. And bottles on their side. These were things that were not even fathomable for the AI just literally 8 months ago.
Yeah, even for Midjourney. 1 year Midjourney, the version 1 or 2, that is what the other results they were. They were at the best, like you look to them. And right now they are so realistic. And that's what I'm expecting for 3D as well, Ernesto. I'm almost sure it's going to be something similar. And the biggest thing, and probably Joy, if you can help me out here on the technology side, LiDAR. Right now, yes, LiDAR is kind of on the pro iPhones, and I'm trying also to play a little bit. But there are software where you can just take the pictures, and they will do the scanning technology for you. But the LiDAR technology is going to be pretty much in any device, maybe relatively shorter. In the next 6 months,
Yes.
There should not be a problem of scanning stuff, which means if you can scan pretty much everything. Therefore, it's going to be created a huge databases. The question is where you posted, or where we compile all those 3D, and from there, somebody's going to scrape them, same as the images with AI, and after that, we're going to create the 3D assets. So that is coming, and in my opinion, it's going to come in the next 6 months or maximum 1 year. That kind
Definitely.
of I
was
kind of
testing things 6 years ago.
yes.
With LiDAR, you can map your own environment. So you're going
Right.
to map your living room, and then you're going to have your metaverse living room. Essentially, you can map your environment and then play a game. You're going to be both physical and digital at the same time. So it's going to be exciting. It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, no, me, I was thinking application-wise, it's like I posted the food, for example. I post some images with the food, and kind of, talking with the friends. They say, hey, imagine this, you go in a restaurant and kind of your menu is going to be an AR application. You just go over there and take your phone, and in front of your plate, you see exactly what you want to order. Like sometimes, I guess you guys, you see the menu and it doesn't have a picture or something. You especially if you go on the let's say specialist kind of restaurants, Asian restaurant, or
Sushi or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's not my specialty, but I'm taking a number 8 or whatever, something which looks okay to me. But imagine when you have that right in front of your plate, scrolling to your phone, and you see exactly how the food looks like. And if we want to go, even further, you can ask the equivalent of ChatGPT to give you the recipe, and you can cook it at home. I mean, there are so many applications which this technology have as a potential you cannot imagine. And this is just a small example. There are millions like this. Millions.
Well, we're already layering, right? So we're using QR codes. Like, I had a gentleman tell me 6 years ago from sales and marketing, QR codes, why are you putting it on everything we're sending to China? I said, it's called scan and buy. But, QR codes are their own language over in China and other countries. So we're the only one that's kind of fallen behind. So if you think about it, you just replace the QR code with AI. You already have it set in place. So you're scanning the food. You can use LiDAR. You can use whatever you're going to layer on top of that. But it's already been placed by the QR code. It's already been set to that food that you're going to be purchasing, or you want to reorder, or you want to set in a metaverse. It doesn't matter what the term or what the use will be, it's already been set. So we're just adding to the layers that are already there.
Actually, I posted also. Go ahead. I will talk after.
No, sorry. We just cannot downplay the value of QR for AR. Because QR codes are so simply to reproduce and to create, and AR for over QR codes has been developed way for over 5 years. So yeah, I thank you, Joy, because agreed, it's just an underused asset that is just sitting right under our hands.
It's hilarious because that same VP of sales and marketing is no longer there, because, we were selling, this is a photonics company, so each machine was about $350,000. So of course I'm going to stick a QR code on that sucker and our logo and brand the crap out of it. So, because there's so many layers to it. And QR codes are very underutilized in this country.
I've been exploring with a sculptor. She makes very small elements, and what we've been doing is now, thanks to LiDAR on every iPhone, is you can quickly scan a piece and just send out a QR code, and anyone can see what the sculpture looks like in their own space through web-based AR. So it doesn't even require any kind of headset or much more than what we already do, is just point our phones at a direction.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. That your environment should still be your immersive environment. You shouldn't have to put a box on your head.
Yes,
I'm really adamant about that for a long time. I want my holodeck, and I'm going to get my holodeck. Damn it! Even if I have to duct tape it together.
The guys from Apple and Meta, they realize that. Yes, that's true.
Yes, as a recovering former Meta employee, that was one of the big things. Who wants to put a box on their head? I'm so glad that Joy's thinking about that, because I just couldn't understand the appeal of that. It did not make sense, and I thought that was never going to work, even back when I was working on it.
Because it's not a global reach. I can't give that to students. Especially when a class, has one computer.
Exactly. Right. And as the educator, because I was just going to talk about some of the other tools, and Sando and the architects and others maybe what's it called? Design. What is it called? The name slips me. But anyways, they using it to develop engineering and other types of experimentation for students. So complete immersion, and you get to experiment, with the whatever technology, whatever project, whatever, and it's all in this environment. And so the capabilities are so endless, because it doesn't, there's the resources, limitations, and locations, and time, and all that is now reduced when you're in the environment. So Simons NX, has anyone heard of that? But
yes,
those are some of the tools that we're really kind of hoping takes on a life of its own, because again, about making things accessible to students, so more students can come into the STEM field in the engineering and research, because I did biochemistry, and you had to be in a lab for hours mixing things and pouring things, right? So we're trying to make that much more inclusive, because when we do that, there is a massive group of people who are not included right now, who have so much ingenuity that can be
I am going to tell the room right now. I know this is going to sound really silly, but I did come up with weird things to say. The Kinect Xbox One Kinect camera, if you have it in a box, if it's in the closet, if it's in your kid's drawer, please keep it. And if you don't have one, please gather one now while they're cheap. And there's two metaverse environments that are using the Kinect camera, the more advanced one that's $500 to $300, but it's mapping the room, and that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm very focused on if metaverse environments and LiDAR and all this wonderful stuff that we're playing with is able to map you in a room without a headset on your head and a ton of equipment, then we have that global reach. And so just a heads up, everyone, keep that camera.
Yeah, definitely.
The same goes for the hardware from the old Wii.
Definitely.
Keep that.
Yeah, I have it all in my room, actually, in my office. And I'm like, all right, let's hook this together. Let's see if this works. What software do I need to patch this in? So, yeah, I'm going to always duct tape for the lowest way we can get in to anything. So,
Yeah, that's really super cool. On the AR codes, actually, I want to mention that I posted also. There is one. The name is Verblufftendi. I hope I pronounced it correctly. It's pretty funny actually as a QR code. They can mix it even a little bit in 3D, but the code, the AR code itself, it's makes it in the image. So that is also interesting. How the QR code looks in general.
those are beautiful, actually. Those
yes.
are really stunning that they've done.
Yes.
Mixing the QR code into the art, because we've been hiding the QR codes in art, but it's nice how they've done that. So,
But
sorry, I take us down different rabbit holes. I apologize.
No, it's okay because I kind of intended to talk about that because soon the QR code, it may become an image where you don't realize it's actually a QR code, which is actually extremely interesting because so far we have those elements dissociated. You could see this is this and this is a QR code. This is this. Imagine that the QR code is a text. Just imagine that. You see it, it's hidden. You don't know, but when you put the phone on it, something else pop up. And I think this is an innovative way and a smart way to kind of do stuff, because back to the architecture, just imagine I will do a small decoration on the wall. Yeah, it looks like a cool decoration, people doesn't know. But when you pull the phone out, guess what? You might have a game, you might have a portal, you might have and so on, so on, so on. So just let the imagination run wild, because that's what I'm seeing the future. I'm seeing those technology kind of merging. Go ahead. Ernesto, it was you? So basically technology are merging, and you're gonna have, treasure chests, like the kids trying to find the eggs during the Easter, and you go around and, I think that will be extremely interactive, and I think that in real life will be quite interesting, because that is a side of human mind which was not explored as it was before. Like in games, yeah, you could see it, especially if you like games like adventure games or trying to find stuff. But imagine that for kids, they go into the school, and school is full of those kind of gems, surprises, like what's the best way to have the kids loving to come to school, like discovery. Yes, exactly. Treasure hunts. That means that is how always education was, with joy, not like coming to, because you need to do that. That's what I'm seeing. Actually, the biggest advantage of this technology is gonna make people to do their stuff with joy. You'll be curious to discover things, and that is quite interesting. And again, it's not something specific as it was before. A QR code, is gonna be kind of hidden, but in the same time makes your mind think, oh, I'm looking to this cup, or I'm looking to this pencil. Actually, this pencil is actually laser toy or whatever. So link it to science fiction.
Yeah.
It could be a person.
You're imprinting.
Yeah,
You're imprinting.
right, Star Wars or whatever. Yes, Ernesto, go ahead.
I have to step out, but honestly, this is the beauty of these conversations that you've been holding. That which you just brought up of hiding the QR code within embedded architecture, you just blew my mind with a solution for something that I was thinking about how. And of course, it's just so obvious. Again, QR codes are staring us at their face, and we just keep on ignoring it. And yeah, thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You just left
Well,
you instructed me again.
I will hide.
Everyone that participated.
Yeah, I will hide few of them on the 5th Street on New York, so you guys who come, forget about Pokemon. Come and see really cool stuff over there. But no, that's how
I've
I'm.
already explored QR graffiti, but this is so much better. Thank you.
No problem. That's the reason we have those discussions. In my opinion, the great, some people say, "Oh, that's my innovating thing." I will patent this and I will hide it. I will say it's quite the opposite. Yes, it's quite the opposite. I think, guys, right now it's the opposite. Put it in the public. Put it. If they say it, they say it. If they don't say it, they say it, because that's the future. That means you should never hide something, because we are in technology. You're gonna find out. Like every device which you have is it's a tracking device, sharing information or whatever. That means go with the flow. Don't try to go against the current. And again,
this is what I mean by layering.
Right, exactly.
I've been hiding things. I've been hiding things with the AI and other things in metaverse for 2 years now. I mean, really, there's a book by Kit Williams, and he hid a treasure in England, and then he made these beautiful books that were illustrated with all these hidden secrets in them, in illustrations. And it was in the wood frame that he built around it, and it was in a poem, and it was a treasure hunt, and you had to find the actual treasure that was in England, that he dug a hole and buried it. And it also was the title of the book. So I loved this as a kid, so I have treated all metaverse and games where I hide things and I come back later, and it'll evolve, or someone will find it, or they'll never find it.
Yeah.
But you have to play with it. I mean, on the security thing that we've talked about, you just took and watermarked everything. You just added all this information. It doesn't matter if you're using a QR code, the AR, whatever you're layering on top, just layer it massively, and you can always come back to it and add more or take away. But yeah, it's a good time to be alive. It's been really positive lately.
Yes, exciting time. Unfortunately, we reach again to the end of the time which we have for this event. But no problem, will be an event 2023 in a week. And also tomorrow we're going to have the event for Create Containers, is event number 35. I have the link in the comments. Feel free to join us. And again, thank you very much for people in the audience. You are so kind to listen to this discussion. Again, big thanks for people coming with us here on the stage, and we'll meet again next time. All right. Thank you very much again, and all the best. Bye.
You have a good week.
You too. Bye. Bye.